Think you remember the sports celebrities from the 70s and 80s? We'll show you what they look like today, and you'll try to guess the icon before we flash back to their glory days. Keep score, drop your results in the comments, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Viraloo has more coming your way. Ready to flex that sports brain? Let's go. A scoring machine in the WNBA before it even existed. That's Ann Myers Drysdale, now 69 in 2025. She was one of the first women to conquer the Boston Marathon. That's Jacqueline Garreau, now 71. She glided across the ice with Olympic gold style. That's Linda Fraschian, now 65. This fiery slugger became a World Series hero and stole the spotlight in Pittsburgh. That's Bill Madlock, now 74. A kicker with a flat shoe and deadly accuracy. That's Mark Mosley, the NFL's only MVP kicker, now 77. He delivered one of the most unforgettable dunks in NCAA history. That's Darrell Griffith, Dr. Duncanstein, now 66. Olympic swimming royalty, winning 7 medals in Montreal. That's John Neighbor, now 69. You couldn't stop him on the ice, especially in Philly. That's Bobby Clark, now 76. This defensive back picked off quarterbacks and headlines in the 80s. That's Everson Walls, now 65. A middleweight boxing legend from marvelous to unforgettable. That's Marvelous Marvin Hagler. He would be 71 in 2025. This pitcher threw flames for the Yankees and Astros. That's J.R. Richard. Remembered as a powerhouse, he'd be 75. She brought grit and gold to track and field. That's Cheryl Toussaint, now 73. He dominated the rugby pitch with unmatched toughness. That's Gareth Edwards, Welsh rugby legend, now 78. From the mound to TV analyst, this guy always kept it cool. That's Ron Darling, now 64. He didn't just ski, he flew downhill with fearless speed. That's Franz Klammer, the Austrian icon, now 71. This cornerback helped redefine defense in the 1980s. That's Mike Haynes, now 72. One of the greatest catchers ever, she led the charge in women's baseball. That's Pam Postema, pioneering umpire and figure in baseball, now 70. The Baby Bull brought raw power to MLB. That's Orlando Cepeda, now 87. This Soviet hockey star helped shock the world before the miracle. That's Vladislav Tretiak, now 73. He outran defenses and rewrote record books in the CFL and NFL. That's Warren Moon, now 68. She helped bring volleyball into the spotlight in the 1984 Olympics. That's Flo Hyman, remembered as a legend. She would be 71. A quarterback who won big with the Raiders and even bigger off the field. That's Ken Stabler, the Snake. He'd be 79. He made corner kicks dangerous and led England to glory. That's Kevin Keegan, now 74. The Big Red Machine had him anchoring second base. That's Joe Morgan. He'd be 81 this year. One of the original Iron Men in the NFL. That's Jack Youngblood, now 75. This tennis champion dominated Wimbledon in his teens. That's Björn Borg, now 69. She helped win America's first Olympic team gold in gymnastics. That's Tracy Talavera, now 58. He powered through NFL lines like they were made of paper. That's Earl Campbell, now 70. A fierce NBA rebounder and rim protector. That's Tree Rollins, now 70. This flyweight boxer made history in Mexico and beyond. That's Miguel Canto, now 76. The first woman to dunk in a college game. That's Georgianne Wells, now 60. He could hit, steal, and intimidate with style. That's Dave Parker, now 74. This legend helped bring pro hockey to U.S. television. That's Phil Esposito, now 83. She was a beast on the basketball court before the WNBA. That's Lucia Harris, Olympic star and Hall of Famer. She would be 70. This kicker won games with last-second perfection. That's Jan Stenerud, now 82. He pitched a no-hitter and won a Cy Young, ME for two different teams. That's Mike Scott, now 70. This Canadian sprint king flew past records. That's Ben Johnson, now 64. He was the defensive mind behind the '85 Bears. That's Buddy Ryan, coaching genius. He'd be 94. She ruled the tennis courts in the early 70s. That's Margaret Court, now 82. This shortstop turned double plays like ballet. That's Ozzie Smith, the Wizard, now 70. He put Italy on the soccer map with the 1982 World Cup. That's Paolo Rossi. He would be 68. She set world records in track before age 20. That's Marita Koch, now 68. And finally, this man was the baddest linebacker in the league. That's Jack Lambert, Steelers legend, now 73. She dominated the pool with freestyle perfection. That's Cornelia Ender, East German legend, now 66. He brought power and precision to the quarterback position. That's Archie Manning, Saints legend, now 76. She was the queen of women's track and field. That's Renate Stecher, sprint legend, now 74. He revolutionized the tight end position. That's Kellen Winslow, Chargers great, now 68. She conquered the slopes with downhill dominance. That's Marie-Therese Nadig, Swiss ski legend, now 70. He was the master of the stolen base. That's Tim Raines, Expos legend, now 65. She brought grace and power to figure skating. That's Janet Lynn, skating pioneer, now 71. He dominated the defensive backfield. That's Ronnie Lott, 49ers legend, now 66. She was the queen of women's marathon running. That's Ingrid Christiansen, Norwegian legend, now 68. He brought speed and agility to the wide receiver position. That's Art Monk, Redskins legend, now 68. She revolutionized women's gymnastics. That's Olga Korbut, Soviet legend, now 69. He was the master of the curveball. That's Tommy John, pitching legend, now 82. She dominated swimming with backstroke perfection. That's Ulrike Richter, East German legend, now 69. He brought intensity to the linebacker position. That's Dick Butkus, Bears legend, now 82. She was the pioneer of women's professional tennis. That's Rosie Casals, tennis legend, now 77. He revolutionized the safety position. That's Kenny Easley, Seahawks legend, now 64. She brought elegance to women's track and field. That's Irina Sawinska, Polish legend, now 78. He was the master of the slider. That's Steve Carlton, Phillies legend, now 80. She dominated the pool with butterfly strokes. That's Andrea Pollock, East German legend, now 65. He brought power to the first base position. That's Eddie Murray, Orioles legend, now 69. She was the queen of women's high jump. That's Rosemarie Ackerman, East German legend, now 73. He revolutionized the center field position. That's Andre Dawson, Expos legend, now 71. She brought speed to women's track and field. That's Marlies Gurr, East German legend, now 67. He was the master of the knuckleball. That's Phil Niekro, Braves legend, now 86. She dominated gymnastics with floor exercise perfection. That's Nellie Kim, Soviet legend, now 67. He brought power to the third base position. That's Mike Schmidt, Phillies legend, now 75. She was the pioneer of women's distance running. That's Francie Larios-Smith, American legend, now 72. He revolutionized the shortstop position. That's Larry Bowa, Phillies legend, now 79. She brought grace to women's gymnastics. That's Daniela Silovic, Romanian legend, now 55. He was the master of the change-up. That's Frank Tanana, Angels legend, now 71. How many did you recognize from their present-day look? Drop your score in the comments and brag a little. Who threw you off the most? Like, subscribe, and hang tight. More sports legends are coming in reverse, only on Viraloo.